my gift of teaching so aligns with my gift of coaching. They don't have to be two separate gifts. If I wasn't the teacher I was, would I be the fabulous coach I was? And it goes back to what you said about that experience. So people need to understand there's not just one gift, one thing that you're good at. It encompasses, this whole conglomerate of things. So when you have these people coming at you, giving you that doubt, guess what? When you start succeeding, there is so much jealousy that happens. And it is so hard to see these people that you love saying these hurtful things, but you have to stand strong in who you are and realize how fabulous you are at what you do. And that there are people that need you to share your gifts and to share your awesomeness. It's so important. Yeah. It's not easy, but it's important. And it's important to stand in that mindset.
Are you confident? Do you have consistency? How much conviction do you have? I'm Daniel Gomez, the Confidence Architect, a business strategist, keynote speaker, executive coach, and best-selling author. On the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show, we will help you unlock confidence to create consistency and develop conviction. Together, we will discover the key that unlocks your confidence. Welcome back to another episode of the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show. It's a nice morning here, and I'm excited for today's guest. As I went to the gym this morning, I thought about my guest because she's always active, she's always smiling, and she's always just real positive and energetic. And as I was leaving the gym, I happened to run across a positive, energetic person. I was like, well, it's just meant to be for today. So today's guest is amazing. I had a chance to share the stage with her many, many times. She's been an epic speaker at our women's conference here that we have in San Antonio every October for our breast cancer. And I got a chance to speak with her in Vegas, and it's been awesome. And it's amazing. I think what I love most about being a speaker and being a coach and just traveling the world is the people that you meet. And I'm honored to have this guest here with me. And we have the one and only Miss Brandee Thunberg. How you doing, Brandee?
Hi, my friend. I am wonderful. Thank you so much for having me here and giving me the opportunity to share what I do and the chance to hang out with you.
Yeah, we were talking about it before we started. I haven't seen you in person live over almost a year and a half already. And it seems like you were just here yesterday, which was actually 2019.
Yes. And that's the one thing I love about you is we just pick up right where we left off.
Yeah. Well, I know what an amazing person Brandee is, right? You got Sunshine Transformations, your amazing coaching business that you have. You're a published author, but tell the audience of the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show, who is Brandee?
Who am I? Oh my goodness. Some would say I'm a hot mess, but but I am a double certified health and life coach. So not only do I get those aspects of life, mindset, and things like that, but I get to bring in the health part. So what I have been working hard doing is helping people gain back control of their health and wellness. And amazing things start to happen when you do that. I mean, they say you don't have anything without your health. And I think my friend figured that out when he was immobile for a couple of weeks, maybe.
More like a couple of months. Yeah, I couldn't walk for almost 2 months. That was 2 months.
And you still had other aspects of your health, but you saw how much things changed for you, right? So I have clients that a lot of them are so in autopilot. They're going, and they're forgetting about their health. And then it's like, wait a second, I don't feel good. And they look in the mirror, they're like, who is that? I don't look good. And I get that beautiful opportunity of helping them press pause a little bit, gain that control. And we don't know what we don't know, right?
Yeah.
So I get the chance to educate people and help them grow in that area. But as their health is developing, I get the spoiled opportunity of watching clients. Like my one client just doubled his business last year.
Wow.
And he's like, I know it had everything to do with you helping me get everything into perspective and helping me take control and take control of my time, my day, my health. And he's like, we're doing this long term. And I'm thinking, Good thing we like each other.
Wow. You know what? That's a great way to open up the segment for our episode here. So I'm going to tell my audience, get out your pen and paper. This is the time where Brandee's going to drop some wisdom. You definitely want to journal down some notes, and something magical happens when you put pen to paper. You retain 80% of it better. So just write down what she's going to tell you, because she's getting ready to drop some bombs. So the first question I want to ask you with what you just said is, do you think our health puts a lid on our business then? Just kind of what you said, that your client doubled their business and their revenue because of health reasons. Talk to us about that. You think so?
I do. I really do. Because now my program works with mindset, self-care, nourishment, and movement. If you can start to get all those things aligned and get focused on those, you're going to create that kind of balance. When things are off, it's not going to work. Now, you know, with your work, if mindset is off, you're stuck. You are completely stuck. Well, you can have the best mindset, but if physically you're just not moving and not getting that release of toxins and things that you need to, what happens is you still end up stuck. Well, you might be able to rock star certain aspects, but all of that energy that is staying trapped and stuck, that needs to be released, can't. So you kind of need that balance. And what I'm noticing is every client that I have had has had an increase in their business in some way once everything falls into place. So they may have come to me because they're like, oh, I want to lose weight, or, I'm really having problems getting, this whole nourishment thing down pat. I know I'm not eating right. But we start also with mindset. So guess what happens? We start hitting those other blocks. And a lot of times it's those other blocks, Daniel, that are keeping them from losing the weight, getting the movement plan, getting that ability to nourish. What is, they're like, oh, I have no willpower. Well, let's talk about that.
Well, I love that. I love that's just a statement that you made. So when we have blocks in our mindset, how does that affect what we eat? Because maybe I have some of those myself. I don't even realize it. Right? So give us an example of someone that you've helped and they had a mindset issue, and how that pertained to the food that you eat. Because I think so many times we're just, like you said, 95% of our lives that we live, it's on autopilot. We don't even realize it. We're on just cruise control and not even aware we're just living by our habits and our rituals. So talk to us about that.
So it's so true. We don't realize our little habits that are adding up and taking control of our day, because they've become as normal as brushing our teeth. We don't pay attention to little things anymore. And what happens is it starts to stack up. Well, when you also have these habits of self-talk and self-doubt, you're going to start to notice that edging into other areas of your life. So as you were talking about with the nourishment, I have had a couple of clients where it really had to do with their self-worth and what they thought about themselves that was relating to their eating habits and their ability to not be able to change what they had grown so used to. That tough day or that feeling. A lot of times it's a feeling we have, and we're looking for a comfort. And that comfort will cause us to reach for something that we have come to equate that with.
So it'd be like a hot dog or pizza or something like that?
Yes. Cookies, things like that, because we just automatically associate that feeling with how that food makes us feel. And my friend, I could go on and on about
well, you know what? You had my attention. You had my attention. I don't like it because you said cookies, and I'm a cookie person. So we're going to stop this interview.
We're done. I get it. No, but the thing is, that's something that's beautiful. Is it doesn't mean don't like cookies.
Yes.
You still have to enjoy food. You still have to. It's such a part of every culture, right?
Yes.
You have to be able to find that balance where, you know what? What's your favorite cookie?
Chocolate chip. I ate one yesterday.
There you go. But is that the end of the world because you had a chocolate chip cookie yesterday?
No, I actually wanted another one, but I just had one. So it was one of actually it was a Chick-fil-A cookie. I'm giving Chick-fil-A a plug in here. So
guess what? Chick-fil-A has awesome chocolate chip cookies, right?
Wow. So
but the thing is, you didn't eat. You didn't buy half a dozen.
yes.
It's just finding that balance and knowing how to read your body. If you had half a dozen cookies, Daniel, how are you going to feel?
Then I would be kind of full and maybe get a little bit lethargic and tired and just, I become maybe if I ate too much, yeah.
So and one of the amazing things about you is your energy. You have this beautiful high energy positivity and people feed off of that. If you eat yourself 6 cookies, are you going to have that?
No,
How would your birthday be?
I'm going to take a nap.
Exactly. So it's understanding those things. And that's a big part of what I do is helping people understand their bio-individuality. Bio-individuality is the fact that you are different than me, and what your body needs and what your mind needs is different than mine. Yes. So when I coach, it's not like this worked for me. This is what I'm doing for you. This is what, no.
Everybody's individual, huh? That's kind of what you're saying. Yes.
Yes. And learning and appreciating that and helping my clients learn and appreciate that.
You know, I love that you said that because I think so many times I was talking on this subject on Clubhouse yesterday where we compare ourselves, and you have to realize that we're unique. Everybody has a gift, right? And what I mean by that is not everybody's going to be a speaker. Not everybody's going to be a podcaster. You might be a baker. You might be a mechanic. You might be a teacher, right? You can be whatever your career, whatever your business is, that's your gift. But I see so many people, they try to be somebody that they're not. They operate out of alignment. And what I mean by that is if you're not in alignment with who you're created to be, you're going to have that unhappiness. And like Brandee's saying, you're going to go to that comfort food. And then next thing you know, it's not the food that's a problem. It's the fact that you're out of alignment. You're not walking in your purpose. And your purpose is found in your gift. What is your gift? You got to operate in your gift. And I see so many people nowadays, they have an identity crisis, Brandee, because they don't know who they are. And they think that what they do is who they are. And that's the biggest mistake. So why don't we segue into that? Answer that question for me. Why do you think people, their identity is lost in what they do instead of who they are? And they just definitely, because in that, you're going to go to food. In that, you're not going to take care of your health. Within that, you're going to stay in a job that you hate. And then you start really saying, well, maybe this is all I have in life. And really, because I think the biggest lie that we've been told, I say this over and over because it's something that I heard, and it made me feel like kind of inferior when I was a kid, right? Growing up Hispanic here in San Antonio, it's like, well, you got to grow up and you got to be a doctor and you got to be a lawyer. And I know so many doctors and lawyers that I coach that just, it sucks. They're not happy. They're just not happy because they were forced to go into that. They have to, you think about the prominent lawyer. Well, yeah, it sounds great, but he has to go and stay up late, study the course, study the case, and then wake up early still in the morning. So talk to us about that. I went on a rant there, but I'm passionate about this because so many of us are lost in our identity. And until you focus on what your gifting is and walk in your identity, it's going to help your health also.
Absolutely. I love that you brought that up because that's actually the first chapter in my book is your why, your purpose, and really starting to get clarity on that. Because once you start to understand those things, you're peeling back all those layers. And I think what we see happening is just culture, our society. It's you need to go to college. You need to be this and be that. And we have so many other people telling us who to be and what to be. And because we're people, we are born to please, right? We want to make people happy. We want to make them smile. So we start living this life where we're moving towards what somebody else wants, to only turn around and be like, what am I doing? Yeah. What is happening? And when you get to that place is where a lot of times we have no clue what to do. You gain that awareness of, I'm not in the right spot, but you've spent so long getting there that you feel like you can't lose the wasted time, or you can't pivot. I can't pivot at 40. I've spent so much time doing this. And it's like, wow, so you want to spend the next 40 years completely out of alignment?
That was me. Are you talking to me? You know, sometimes in life, tragedies happen or big traumas in someone's life happens. And for us, of course, I always talk about it. My wife was diagnosed with breast cancer almost 4 years ago, but it was actually a blessing in disguise. And sometimes I like what you said, and I want somebody, this is for somebody, I need to write this down. Brandee brought up a good point. You're not starting over from zero. You're starting off from your experience that you've had these last 10, 20, 30 years. And most people, Brandee, they think they go back to zero, when in reality, no, you're not going back to zero. Everything you learned, whether it's you're 30 years old, 40 years old, even 50, it's never too late. Think of Colonel Sanders. He was 65 years old when he started Kentucky Fried Chicken. So you're going to learn from your point of experience, and it's going to give you that momentum, that trajectory to push you forward, right? To catapult you forward. And because I saw that in mine, I didn't realize how much I was doing in my old career in running automotive dealerships and just managing 100 employees and training and teaching and mentoring and just the whole, you don't realize that when you're in the mess of the jungle. But when I got back and I looked in the mirror, I was like, man, I'm doing all this. But so many of us, we get stuck in that jungle and we don't operate in our gifting and who we are.
Exactly. Well, and I love that you trusted and you pivoted, and look at the amazing things that have happened, and it's just finding that strength and finding that courage and that support. You had that beautiful support to make that pivot. And, the things that you all just listed for what you have done, I'm like, yeah, like that makes him him. But when you're in the middle of it, you don't see it that way. So like even for me, I started coaching 3 years ago, certified 3 years ago, but I started this journey over 20 years ago.
Yes.
And I didn't wake up and go, oh, I want to be a health coach. It just naturally transformed as I worked through my health challenges. And then people started reaching out to me. And I started realizing that I was able to make that impact. I was able to share that knowledge and the experience that I had. And because I did it all backwards,
yes,
it took so long to save people time and money.
Well, let me ask you this. You said something. I want you to do me a favor right now. I want you to look into the camera, get close to the mic, and I want you to speak to that person right now that is stuck in an identity that's not serving them. And that may be a person that went to college, got their 4-year degree, maybe even their MBA, and their job, they're just so unhappy, but they don't want to let go of that entitlement, that title that they have, or they, like you said, right, the years they've invested. I want you to take a minute and really speak to the heart of that person and tell them why they need to follow who they really are at the core.
Yeah. So, and there's probably a few of you out there that are getting that awareness, especially with what we have gone through. I really feel like this whole COVID has really given us that opportunity to pause a little bit, slow down, figure out what's important. So there's probably quite a few of you out there that are realizing some of those things that are important to you aren't aligning with your actions. And that is a very hard spot to be. And I want you to understand that it is hard. There's no reason to beat yourself up over any of it, but it's so important to take some action. It doesn't mean quit your job right now and totally go off into left field. It means think about what's important, make a plan, take a baby step, take that first action, and really start to figure out your alignment and your truth, what you are here to do, the gifts that you were given, because it's those gifts that this world needs from you. It's what you were brought here to share. So taking that opportunity to think about those and start taking that baby step. You don't know where to go, reach out for help, reach out for support. I know Daniel and I will be there for you in a heartbeat. We've been there, we've walked it. And this is your chance. Do you want to spend the rest of your life feeling like you feel right now? That's a big question to ask. And sometimes the answer doesn't feel good. But it's okay to not know what to do or what exactly that first step needs to be. It's just trusting and reaching out and believing in yourself and looking at all the beautiful people around you that have done it. And I'll end up getting emotional because it's
Yes.
so hard.
That's a boom. That's a mic drop right there. Boom, baby. That was powerful. Think about that.
And the thing is, we've seen so many people do it that we know the power behind it. So you get so passionate because you've been there. You want to just give these people that big hug and just get those pom-poms out. Like, I got you,
Yes. So somebody's listening to this and they're going to be saying, well, yeah, that's easy for Daniel Gomez Inspires to say. And that's easy for Brandee Thunberg to say. Yeah, they can say that. But I want you to be real now and be vulnerable and share with us something on your path, right? A time that you started on your journey, because I can tell you, I've always say I'm a big crybaby, right? I don't care. I mean, men need to cry more because the biggest lie we've been told is men don't cry and we need to cry. That's why there's so many angry men out there. But tell us a time in your journey when you were making this transition to become Brandee, owner of Sunshine Transformations, and when you really wanted to give up because it was like, this isn't easy, right? Because first of all, your old identity is pulling you back. And who do you think you are? And you're not good enough to be a coach and all those other lies that we tell ourselves. So talk to us about that, a time, and what did you learn about yourself in that when you lost your confidence in the transition, but you came out and became the new person you are today?
Yeah, there's been several times. I'm not going to lie. There isn't just one big moment. And I think that's all part of it when you're making that transition. You're so feeding into what's around you because you're questioning things yourself. So you're going to have those people that come in and say those negative things or ask you those questions that put that doubt in your mind. But you have to pay attention also to what's happening. So, I had those few opportunities where, you hear like, you really think you're going to do this? Oh my gosh. So I've got 20 years teaching experience. I was really good at teaching. So I had a lot of people like, you're just going to leave the kids? You're just gonna stop all this? Like, you're fabulous at what you do. And it's like, well, why can't I be fabulous at something else?
Yes.
But you have this, talk. And
say that again. I want you to say that. Somebody needs to hear that. They're being told that right now. Somebody's being lied to, right? You're fabulous at what you do. You're fabulous as a cake maker. You're fabulous as a mechanic. I love what you said. Brandee just said, that's a mic drop right there, right? Write that down. Just because you're fabulous at what you do, sometimes people try to manipulate you in a nice way for their advantage. And why can't you be fabulous at something else? Say that again. You said it so eloquently, please.
I don't know if I could get it right again. I don't know. But it's the simple fact that my gift of teaching so aligns with my gift of coaching. They don't have to be two separate gifts. If I wasn't the teacher I was, would I be the fabulous coach I was? And it goes back to what you said about that experience. So people need to understand there's not just one gift, one thing that you're good at. It encompasses, this whole conglomerate of things. So when you have these people coming at you, giving you that doubt, guess what? When you start succeeding, there is so much jealousy that happens. And it is so hard to see these people that you love saying these hurtful things, but you have to stand strong in who you are and realize how fabulous you are at what you do. And that there are people that need you to share your gifts and to share your awesomeness. It's so important. Yeah. It's not easy, but it's important. And it's important to stand in that mindset.
I love what you said there, because I think you said something that it's like that crab story. You can put a crab in the crate and the crab will get out by himself. But as soon as you put 2, 3, 4 crabs in there, the crab's going to try to get out. And who's going to pull that crab back? Its own little friend, right? Its own little neighbor, its own little family member. And I want somebody to hear that, because Brandee, is what she said is so true, that as you're elevating, as you're becoming successful, somebody's hearing this right now and you were doing great. And all of a sudden you started self-sabotaging yourself because you started listening to, maybe it's your mom Maybe it's your dad. Maybe it's your big sister or just a friend that they get envious and jealous of you and you rise above them, right? People, one thing that I realized, Brandee, is people will support you up to their level of success, whatever their terminology or their perspective of that is. And the moment you start to go higher, they're like, oh, now he thinks he's all good, or now she thinks she's all good, or they just, who do you think you are, right? They just kind of say it and they're sarcastic. But that's why I came up with this. I always say this quote now, right? People will always criticize what they can't duplicate.
Yes.
People will always criticize what they can't duplicate. And that comes out of jealousy and envy. So talk to us about that. Why do you think they do that? You know, because we're talking about health and that's not healthy. So why would somebody be jealous of Brandee as she's coming up and her sunshine's brighting and she's just there? And, you know, you're doing your good intentions, but you have those people that kind of bring you down. Why do you think that is?
You know, as silly as it seems, they don't know any better. Kind of like you said, like, and it makes them uncomfortable. And I know I had a few people come to me in my transition and they're like, so how are you doing this? Because I feel stuck and you're going to leave me and I'm stuck here. You know, and it's the way people start to interpret what you're doing for themselves. Instead of this outward, I'm so happy for you, it's like, oh, she's doing that and I'm not. Or he's doing that and I'm not. And they start that mindset spiral.
Yes.
And then it becomes natural for them to just spit it out. And it comes out in ways that might be hurtful. And now, luckily, with my background, I have the opportunity to understand where they're coming from. And I'm actually able, as silly as it sounds, is have like a mini coaching session with them. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that that's how you feel. Why do you think that is? Why do you feel threatened by what I do? And able to have that open conversation, just because that's how I am. That's what I do. And I'm not afraid of those, tough questions. But I think it really has to do with, and it kind of goes back to the alignment we talked about.
Yeah.
They're out of alignment. They're watching someone get into alignment. They're watching things happen. And it's like, why not me? And it's almost like, I don't want to say a pity party, but that is in a sense where it's coming from.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because I do a lot of corporate coachings, and I would never forget. I was talking to this one. I did a self-assessment with one of the employees there, and she was just like, "Yeah, like right." The way she carried herself, she was very bold and very confident. And I said, "Well, what's with this false self-confidence?" She's like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, like I see that you portray yourself as confident, but it's a false self-confidence. Where do you think that comes from?" She goes, "What are you talking about?" Like she got defensive. I said, "We can stop it here, right? Because it's not mandatory for some of the employees to do it." But the more we talked and we were just conversating, she goes, "You know what?" She had I think the word is, this is what she said. "I had a conniving friend a couple of years ago that we just broke up because no matter what I did, like say I was going to get married. Well, why do you want to get married? That's stupid, right? Like, why do you want to get married?" And now that we're talking about this, it's like she was very, very conniving and manipulative. And she goes, "I didn't see it till right now." And so many people, and it doesn't have to be starting a business, right? It can be just getting a promotion at work and people are like, "Oh, now you're going to be with the Joneses," or I've heard it, right? Because unfortunately, a lot of people are just like that. And it's sad because instead of celebrating somebody, they bring them down. And why is that? Let's go a little bit deeper on that, because this is a great conversation we're having.
Yeah. Well, and I love what you brought up about the lady you were speaking with, because it shows she put her wall up. Because she felt like she had to put her wall up around this person, and then it stayed up around other people that she might have felt threatened by. So by you talking about confidence and her knowing that she had a lack, that wall has to go up. And she has to create that space. So it becomes part of, how do you get that wall? One, the awareness. If they don't see it, you can't do anything with it.
Yes.
You brought that to her awareness, and then how do you peel that back? So it's understanding how we're allowing people to affect us and how we're allowing that to become a part of who we are. And I see that a lot. I have one client right now. It's going back to the way he was raised, is the way he's seeing himself. I have another client who, and it might sound silly, and it made me laugh, but I got a text message like 2 weeks ago. I didn't call myself stupid today. I just realized I went through something really hard and I didn't call myself stupid or put myself down. And I was like, yes!
Boom, baby.
And it may sound silly because, this is a 50-year-old man who never realized the self-talk he had and how that was creating this spiral for his health and his wellness and so on and so forth. So, that was it's just moments like that. You know what I mean? You have so many of these beautiful moments, and we get that opportunity. Those moments help build us up, and they help us keep those naysayers at bay because we know we're making a difference. And that's what I think people need to understand, that you don't have to be me or you. You don't have to coach somebody to make a difference. Every day you have a chance to make a difference in someone's life. What difference are you making? Let that build you up.
I love that. You say that. And you know what came to mind? I was speaking in Clubhouse last week, and then this gentleman was just like, I just want to thank Daniel. And I was like, I looked down and I was like, Daniel. I was like, who's this guy? His name was Bill. I never met him before, but he had seen one of my videos, and then he had seen a couple of posts. He goes, your post on LinkedIn really carried me through when I lost my wife. And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, and I never knew this. I don't even know who the guy was. And anybody can post something positive as to negative. So you don't need a stage. You don't need a podcast. We all pretty much have access to social media. Just really be aware of what are you posting? Is it bringing life or is it bringing death? So good stuff. Let's transition here real quick. I want to ask you a question. I want to ask Brandee. Let's get Brandee on the hot seat. Now, what makes Brandee Thunberg Shine Transformations? What makes you distinctive, Brandee? What sets you apart to be unique?
So I get it. There's tons of coaching businesses out there, right? So what makes me me? I am so dead set on this bio-individuality and getting to know who you are and what is creating those blocks and those barriers. And then working from there through 4 pillars: mindset, self-care, nourishment, and movement. And I know, like Daniel, you coach, that you have your wheelhouse, right? You are all about that confidence. For me, it's those 4 pillars. And I've had people tell me, now, why don't you focus on one? No, because I've seen that synergy of all 4. And that's where my wheelhouse is, seeing that synergy, helping you see that synergy, getting that impact in your life of all of those things to come together. And that is truly what I feel like makes me stand out. And it's part of what creates that passion and that love, is seeing these transformations happening once we open up the mind, once we start getting you to talk about loving yourself. Yes. Especially men, that becomes very interesting because society tells you something different, and just through what are you putting in your body? How is that affecting your mind and your thoughts? And then that movement. You were at the gym this morning. How do you feel, Daniel, when you missed the gym?
Oh, I was miserable for 2 months. Literally, I found myself, I was talking to Mari about this actually, because I couldn't walk literally for 6 weeks. And then when I finally had a chance to go to the gym, when I went back, I think I went back like 7. It was actually almost a 2-month marker. I actually cried because I envisioned, when Rocky got knocked out by Mr. T and Clubber Lang, and you see the replay in his head, I was getting knocked out. And when I was actually working out, I had a visual of me just like that, like coming back, because I hadn't worked out for 2 months, and I was edgy. I wasn't as patient, and I was a little bit more frustrated, right? I didn't have as much I think compassion and love at that moment. And it's when you're used to working out, I work out at least 4 times a week is my goal, sometimes even more. But when you don't have zero and you're used to it and you go almost 2 months, it affects you. There's no movement.
And I could sit here and tell you all the science your body went through on that. We're not going to go there. But that's part of what
I needed help, right?
No, it's just your body was used to all the endorphins that you get. It was used to detoxing and processing in a certain way. And then all of a sudden it couldn't do that. It had to try to pivot a different way and it didn't know what to do. Okay. So it's going to start affecting your thoughts. And I'll never forget, I'm an avid runner. And I'll never forget one day when I was teaching, there was just some craziness going on. And Coach came up to me. And Coach and I, we've been friends for over 20 years. So we have this unique relationship. And he walks up to me and goes, "You didn't get your run in today, did you, girl?" And I was like, "No, I didn't." He goes, "Because it's written all over your face. And I can tell it's written on what's about to come out your mouth."
Wow, that was funny. That's good stuff. Man, I'm enjoying this. I don't want this conversation to end. So as we're coming close to the end of the conversation, though, I want you to share either a quote or a scripture that you lean on when times get tough and you just need something to reinforce your thinking, center you back. What's a quote or a scripture that you rely on?
I'm looking because I actually have it right here. I have two, and I have a saying, and I snuck out of the screen for a minute, but I keep this right here. And it is, "For I know the plans I have for you," Jeremiah 29:11. And when things get a little like muddled and unclear, it's like, all right, nope. I'm on a path. Am I on the right path? And I'm able to have that conversation and ask and it shall be given to you. Seek and you shall find. Knock and it shall be opened unto you. And that reminds me to ask, seek, and knock. And to me, those are two really important things. But my saying is, I threw in a towel, God threw it back and said, "Wipe your face, you're almost there." And
wow, say that again?
Yeah.
You said that kind of fast. I like that one.
I threw in a towel, God threw it back and said, "Wipe your face, you're almost there."
Wow, that was powerful. So, I threw in the towel.
Yeah.
God threw the towel back. Wipe your face.
Yep. Wipe your face. You're almost there. It's like, I got your back. Trust me. We got this. And that has helped with a lot of naysayers as I've been, growing into Sunshine Transformations and coaching and watching these amazing things happen with my clients.
Well, you're pretty popular now. I don't think you're going to have your star on Hollywood pretty soon here. So that's why I love you so much. I just love your positivity, your personality. And if somebody's hearing this episode and they're like, "Who is this Brandee chick? Who is this Brandee Sunshine Coach? I want to find out who she is." How does somebody from the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show connect with you and find you?
You can find Sunshine Transformations on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, or I also have my own Brandee Thunberg with that happy silent H. You can find us there, and that's where you can really find out a little bit more about what I do and connect with me. I would love to, if you have, any kind of thought that came up through this and you just want to chat about it, definitely reach out. I would love to do that. I do also have my Facebook group, Healthy Made Simple, where there's little tidbits on how to, make health and this health and wellness thing like an easy part of what you do. Like, nobody said it has to be difficult. It shouldn't be. It should be fun and exciting.
Yes. And we'll include all your websites and stuff on the show notes, so they'll be able to get a hold of you. And wow, what an amazing show. You've been an amazing guest. And as we come to the end of our show, Brandee brought up a good point. If this kind of just triggered something in you, and reach out to us here, right? Daniel Gomez Inspire Show. We have the Shield of Faith coaching. We have our Shield of Faith community group here on Facebook. We would love for you to join our group. And if you need help, if you're stuck in life or in business, Daniel Gomez, myself, I'm an award-winning business coach and executive coach. I would love to help you and serve you. Just go to bit.ly/meet Daniel Gomez, and you can set up your complimentary discovery session. And that's a wrap for this week's show. I'm definitely excited about it. We'll see you next week here on the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show. This is Daniel Gomez, and thank you so much for tuning into our show today. We'd love your feedback. Please drop us a comment, and thank you for leaving us a review. Don't forget to subscribe to our show and share this episode with a friend. And my free gift for listening to our show today is a copy of my best-selling book, You Were Born to Fly. To get your free copy, go to danielgomezinspires.com and get your copy today. That's danielgomezinspires.com. And to elevate your life and business even more, follow me on social media at Daniel Gomez Inspires on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Together, we will discover the key that unlocks your confidence.